What is going on, you lovely people? I hope that you're having a fantastic day. And yes, I do apologize, I did shave. It's nice to breathe again, it's nice to feel the air outside. But anyways, we have the very much honor and privilege of reviewing a literal genre-defining movie today. The movie that possibly set the new standard for action and martial arts movies that we've seen fit for our new generation. Today, we get to review Ong-Bak. And before I go into my review of the movie, I just want to give you a little summary of the story for those of you guys who haven't seen it or maybe just need a quick refresher. It starts out in the country in northeastern Thailand at the very small rural village of Nong Pradu, and they're experiencing drought and famine, and they're about to be doing this ceremony that takes place where they're basically going to pray to their god Ong-Bak, hence the name of the movie, for restoration of the crops or land, for rain, all that good stuff. And right before they're about to do that, I think it's actually a week before the ceremony is going to take place, thieves end up actually stealing the head of Ong-Bak because there are guys going around stealing precious statues, family heirlooms, all such things like that for money. And Ong-Bak gets stolen, the village gets flung into despair and chaos, and it's up to our man Ting, or in other words Tony, for this review I'm using Tony, forgive me, but our man Tony, it is up to him to go to Bangkok, get Ong-Bak back, and bring stability and honor and glory back to his village of Nong Pradu. So yeah, that's basically the story. Now let's get into the review. And before I go into pros and cons, I just want to really extend my honor and gratitude for what Ong-Bak did for the martial arts industry and action industry as we know today. The stunt team behind everything that you saw in front of you, all the stunts, all the actors, all the crazy things that they've done throughout this movie are all absolutely 100% real. It is the first ever movie to actually showcase Muay Thai to an international audience. Honestly, it was things we had never seen before up until then. And forgive me if I butcher your name, but Pana Ratikarai, the head of the Muay Thai stunt team that is also famous and synonymous to this day, you guys are fantastic. You guys are amazing. You created a new genre. You created a new standard for the industry to this day. And I cannot proclaim and thank you enough for the amazing movies you brought us, the amazing stunts, the amazing visuals, and just showing us how much better an action film can be in the first place. And with that out of the way, all the praise and glorious things, because you could go on all day about Ong-Bak and just how amazing and genre-defining it is, let's get into some positives. Let's get into what I really thought about the movie. And firstly, like I said, definitely one of the major positives is all the stunts you are seeing are absolutely real. Everything going on, all the crazy stuff, these guys literally put themselves through the ringer and really did that for us, and I cannot praise that enough. There's especially one scene in particular where Tony's Jaw's legs get caught on fire because he's fighting some people, and he hits them with the fire, and adding more dramatic effect and stuff. If you go behind the scenes and watch that, they literally lit his pants on fire for every take they had to do for that one shot. And I know in the behind the scenes footage it was at least 3 times, and they literally lit this dude's pants on fire while he was doing the stunt 3 times. And that is just amazing, man. Getting that knee deep and gritty into authenticity of a movie, that is just so amazing, and I cannot praise that enough. All the actors were decent and cool. Nobody was exceptionally bad or horrible. Obviously Tony Jaa was the best actor, usually like he always is in his movies. The only exception I would say to that thing is our main villain, Suchancho Pogwilai, who plays Kodaman in the movie. Forgive me if I butchered that, forgive me. Horrible with names, like I've said. He was fine, he was cool, he did his thing. It just kind of got a little annoying with, hearing that robot voice all the time. Obviously he's a smoker, he's letting that life get to him and drain him, obviously. But, other than that, he's not in the movie, especially too long. Other than that one guy, everybody was fine, everybody was cool. There's one powerful scene before Tony actually ends up going to Bangkok to start resuming his search for Ong-Bak in the city. All the villagers come together, the whole town crowds him and just, kind of spreads their love and affection towards him, and they all give him something. They all give him either money or whether it be a ring or heirloom, just to showcase how important, one, Ong-Bak is to the community and how much they care for it, but two, it also shows and showcases how important this community is with each other, how closely and how much love is shared between this community. And just seeing them all gather around Tony as he's about to leave, and they're crying and they're wishing him the best, like it really solidified that this is a village and a close-knit family, that they love each other and that they're genuinely concerned and worried and wish the best for Tony as he goes on to Bangkok. And I really enjoyed it. And again, lastly, like I said, Ong-Bak was the very first time that Muay Thai was brought into the spotlight as a martial art, as something highly, focused and centered in a movie internationally. And it was genuinely stuff we had never seen before. All the real actors, all the real stunts. Even one of the most highly praised action movies and martial arts movies of all time, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, they had wire work all over the place. And when you see something that is just like, oh wow, he's jumping down, he got kicked up off of a tree, it was crazy stuff. And I really did enjoy it. And again, I just praise the movie for what it was able to accomplish. Now let's get into the actual cons, some things I didn't really enjoy about the movie. The first major thing is that it's, it does have a little pacing issues. It's not horrible, it's not bad, but really the first actual fight scenes where things kind of get serious and he's actually fighting to defend something or to win something doesn't really take place until after 40 minutes into the movie. And there is a very first opening scene where they're all going up on this tree and performing this like trial. Now that was cool and I really enjoyed that, and that was a great way to open the movie. But you go from there to, like I said, over 40 minutes into the movie, and really other than just like some stunt work and some goofing off and some showing off, some showcasing of what the team is able to do, there's not really anything that was like super serious or majorly grounded to really look at or see, other than just setting up plot. And that's the main thing about Ong-Bak. The more you watch the movie, the more you realize it's more of like a technical showcase of like, hey, look at what we're able to do, guys. Look what we're able to accomplish. Look at all these cool things that we were able to do in this movie that is real. And that's mainly the thing about Ong-Bak, is it's more of a technical showcase than an actual full-length, crazy, out of proportion movie. Because yes, there are fights, and yes, there are things that go on. I legit think he fights a good 6 or 7 people throughout the movie. They're not really the focus. Yes, he fights them, and yes, he saves the day and wins everything. But it's all more about the stunt prowess. It's all about more of like what's technically being done. And oh crap, did he just jump through that building? Or is he on top of that thing while it's moving? It's more of a tech demo than a full-length Hollywood blockbuster. And another con I would mention is I have the North American Blu-ray version, as you see here, and apparently it is one of the worst ones to get, because before even watching this and doing a little research, I had no idea that there were even different versions out there. Which, it kind of makes sense. Oh, you want to market it more to a more Western audience or to a more international audience. But even knowing that the original Thailand version is only about 3.5 minutes longer, it still annoys me that there was actual film legit content taken out of the movie and removed completely. I know the most major thing is dealing with May's sister, but because in the actual movie you just see her as some just random chick that's doped up on drugs and she ends up dying or whatever. She looks like she's dying. That whole subplot is taken out completely. And then some of the music is changed as well, which I'm not, whatever, you can change the music, that's fine. I'm not too much of a stickler on that, as long as it fits. But do not take content that is actually filmed and shot for the movie out of its release. That is beyond annoying and crazy. And again, I hate knowing that I got an inferior version to watch. Still though, again, nothing too much. Like I said, a whole 3.5 minutes, but I'm very thankful that this practice wasn't continued, because now, mainly with our more recent international films, and especially after Tony Jaa started getting more popular, we basically got the same version of the movie as everybody else. And really ending here with all the pros and cons, I kind of like to think that Ong-Bak is basically a student film before the masterpiece. It's a technical demo. It's, more of a showcase of like, wow, look at what these guys can do, before the actual groundbreaking, crazy out there movie comes. And again, I praise Ong-Bak for what it was able to do, and I did enjoy the movie, but I do not think it's my favorite. I don't think it's as crazy and mind-blowing amazing as people make it out to be. It was for the time, But after we've been able to see what has come after it, when you're looking back to the first Ong-Bak movie, it's kind of more of a meh thing after seeing at what they were able to improve on and do later on down the line. Did this movie make history? Absolutely. Will this movie be cemented in martial arts movie status? Absolutely. Does this movie deserve the praise and glorification it gets? Absolutely. Just for me personally, I didn't enjoy it as much as some of the later releases. Ong-Bak definitely changed how martial arts and action movies should be handled to this day. And again, like I've said previously, I cannot thank these guys enough for the amount of bloodshed and tears that went into this. And while it's definitely not my favorite, I can absolutely respect what Ong-Bak did for the film industry as a whole. And my overall thoughts for Ong-Bak, this time through all the good and the bad, and for what we've seen in the future, I'm going to give Ong-Bak a 7 out of 10. And for the full personification of the amazing things that are to come for some of Tony Jaa's best work, the Muay Thai stunt team were able to do, I want to say that probably the best personification of that will probably come in The Protector, one of his later following films. And that's actually what we're going to review next week, so stay tuned for that. Protector is coming. Yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts and opinions on it. And again, just thank you so much for checking us out. Thank you so much for sticking around and just watching a random dude ramble on the internet. But much love to you all, guys. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and we'll see you next time.